Welcome to Lesson 4's review segment here. In this lesson, we are going to explore the objects from the gallery and see how they can be utilized to create engaging lessons with your students. I've noticed that in many different grade levels, there's some kind of lesson that deals with counting money or possibly working with manipulatives or something in that nature. Well, here's one example that I created for counting money. Let's say that as a teacher, you want to do a little 10-minute lesson on exploring money and how we can get to 50 cents in multiple different or in different ways. So up at the board, you'll write down 50 cents. Then the students would come up here and grab a coin. So let's say the first student comes up there, brings 2 quarters, and right there, and the whole class agrees that, hey, yep, that's 50 cents. When you're done with that, you can easily just click or use your finger, press and hold, go in a diagonal motion here, and then press delete. And then another student comes up, grabs a dime, and then the whole class starts counting 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you can see how these objects, when they're simply laid out like this, some kind of objective, it can bring a higher order type of lesson that gets the whole class involved, because there's many different ways you can come up with answers here. So you may have noticed that this hand is stationary, it can't move. And I kept on pulling coins from over here on the left side. So I'm going to explain to you how this was created. And then this could be applied to many other different types of lessons. Create a new slide here. I went to the gallery and I knew I needed a hand to deposit the coins to. So I did a search for the hand. Got that. And since I don't want my students, when they come up to the board, you'll realize that they like to kind of hang on the board and accidentally move things around and stuff like that. When you select an object, you can make it stationary where it locks in place. So when I click on this arrow for the object, there is one option that for locking, and then lock in place. Now this hand will not move. If for some reason down the road you realize, oh, I don't want the hand there, or something goes wrong with the lesson, you can always undo the lock by clicking on it and choose unlock. So there's the hand, and then you also notice that we had coins from the United States. When you do a search for coins, you'll get a wide variety of coins. Smartboards are made in Canada, so I've noticed that the Canadian coins show up first. Okay, US coins, that did not work. And I don't like the search results on that one. Money. And pictures. Here's the Canadian money. Euro. All right. The penny. Nickel. Dime. quarter. Okay, so what I need to do is, once again, you may have noticed before that the coins did not move, and I kept pulling coin after coin after coin, especially when I was counting with the dimes. Some people think that you just have to stack a whole bunch of dimes perfectly on top of each other. No, that's not the case. What we need to do is, there's one option that does two things. It'll lock in place, and it will do, it will offer an infinite amount of coins from that object. And this function works with any other object as well. So what this is called, it's right here, infinite cloner. When I select infinite cloner, by the way, I highly suggest that you get your objects laid out perfectly the way you want it first before you choose this option. It'll just make your life easier. Click on infinite cloner. For all these. There we go. So now I can pull as many as I want out from that object. So we've looked at locking in place. We've looked at infinite cloner. It does two things. It locks the object in place. It pulls an infinite amount of objects right there. And let's say we want to do one more thing that I find very useful. So let's say I have this text box right here, and I would like to keep this collection that one of my students put together, keep that as another example that I can always pull out. So it's kind of like a hidden answer. Now, each object, I forgot to put my tool away. Select tool. Each object here is loose and on its own. There's an option where you can put all these together so that way they stay together as one group, including the 50 cents item text box right there. So what I'm going to do is go diagonal across all those objects. They're all selected. It doesn't matter which arrow I select right now. What I want is grouping, and then group. Now you can see I went from 6 different objects down to 1, and I can move it around as I wish. So if you develop this lesson as like a learning center, the students can check their answers by pulling this out, just like if it's like a hidden answer. Pull that out. Voila. Oh yeah, I could have used 5 dimes. I forgot about that. I would say that covers some of the most important items there. We have grouping. Flip means just to change the direction there. The link and sound, I'm going to cover that in another lesson. Otherwise, you have clone. I find this helpful. It's similar to infinite cloner, but it only does it once. So when you develop one thing and you wish you could have it, you want to repeat the same thing because it's useful a couple times. So you can actually choose clone, and that way you don't have to recreate something 2 times. Otherwise, you have your typical word processing items. You got cut, copy, paste, delete. And you've seen that from previous segments here. And the best way to learn how to use these objects is continue exploring on your own.